Chapter 13, Creation and the Creator. The Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, this physical body, the miniature universe, may be called the field of creation. One who knows the creation is called the Creator or Atma by the observers of truth. O Arjuna, know me to be the Creator of all creation. I consider the true understanding of both the Creator and the creation to be transcendental or metaphysical knowledge. What creation is, what it is like, what its transformations are, where its source is, who that Creator is, and what his powers are, hear all these from me in brief. The observers have separately described the creation and the Creator in different ways in the Vedic hymns and also in the conclusive and convincing verses of the Brahma Sutra. The primary material nature, Adi Prakriti, or Avyakta, cosmic intellect or Mahat, I consciousness or ego, 5 basic elements, 10 organs, mind, 5 sense objects, and desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, the physical body, consciousness, and resolve. Thus, the entire field has been briefly described with its transformations. Humility, modesty, non-violence, forgiveness, honesty, service to Guru, purity of thought, word and deed, steadfastness, self-control, aversion of sense objects, absence of ego, constant reflection on the pain and suffering inherent in birth, old age, disease, and death. Detachment, non-fondness with son, wife, home, etc. Unfailing equanimity upon attainment of the desirable and the undesirable, and unswearing devotion to me through single-minded contemplation, taste for solitude, distaste for social gatherings and gossips, steadfastness in acquiring knowledge of eternal being, namely Brahma, and seeing the omnipresent Supreme Being, Parabrahma, everywhere. This is said to be knowledge. That which is contrary to this is ignorance. I shall fully describe the object of knowledge, knowing which one attains immortality. The beginningless Supreme Being, namely Parabrahma, is said to be neither Sat or eternal, nor temporal or Asat. The eternal being, namely Brahma, has his hands, feet, eyes, head, mouth and ears everywhere because he is all pervading and omnipresent. He is the perceiver of all sense objects without the physical sense organs, unattached and yet the sustainer of all, devoid of 3 modes or gunas of material nature or prakriti, and yet the enjoyer of the gunas of prakriti by becoming a living entity or jiva. He is inside as well as outside all beings, animate and inanimate. He is incomprehensible because of his subtlety. And because of his omnipresence, he is very near, residing in one's inner psyche, as well as far away in the supreme abode. He is undivided, yet appears to exist as if divided in the beings. He, the object of knowledge, appears as Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the sustainer, and Shiva, the destroyer of all beings. Parabrahma, the Supreme Person, is the source of all light. He is said to be beyond darkness, of ignorance or Maya. He is the self-knowledge, the object of self-knowledge, and seated in the inner psyche or the causal heart as consciousness of all beings. He is said to be realized by self-knowledge or Jnana, Tartamaya Jnana, or Brahma Vidya. Thus, I have briefly described creation as well as knowledge and the object of knowledge. Understanding this, my devotee attains my supreme abode. Know that both material nature or Prakriti and spiritual being, namely Purusha, are beginningless. All manifestations and three dispositions of mind and matter, called modes or gunas, are born of Prakriti. Prakriti is said to be the cause of production of the physical body and organs, of perception and action. Purusha, or the consciousness, is said to be the cause of experiencing pleasure and pain. Spiritual being, Purusha, enjoys three modes of gunas of the material nature, namely Prakriti, by associating with Prakriti. Attachment to the gunas due to ignorance caused by the previous karma is the cause of birth of the living entities, namely Jiva, in good and in evil wombs. Eternal being, Brahma, Atma, or spirit, in the body is also called the witness, the guide, the supporter, the enjoyer, the great Lord, and also the Supreme Himself. Those who truly understand spiritual being, namely Purusha, and material nature, namely Prakriti, with its three modes of gunas, are not born again regardless of their way of life. Some perceive the super soul, that is Paramatma, in their inner psyche through mind and intellect that have been purified by meditation or by metaphysical knowledge or by karma yoga. Others, however, do not know the yogas of meditation, knowledge, and work, but they perform deity worship with faith, as mentioned in the scriptures by the saints and sages. They also transcend death by virtue of their firm faith in what they have heard. Whatever is born, inanimate or animate, know them to be born from the union of the field, Prakriti or matter, and the field knower, namely Purusha or spirit, O Arjuna. The one who sees the same eternal Supreme Lord dwelling in spirit or Atma, equally within all mortal beings, truly sees. Because of beholding one and the same Lord existing equally in every being, one does not injure anybody, as everything is one's own self, and thereupon attains the supreme abode. One who perceives that all works are done by the powers of guna of material nature alone, and thus does not consider oneself or the Atma as the doer, that person truly understands. The moment one discovers the diverse variety of beings and their ideas abiding in one and coming out from that alone, one attains the Supreme Being, namely Parabrahma. Because of being beginningless and unaffectable by the three modes of material nature, the eternal Super Soul or Paramatma, even though dwelling in the body as a living entity, namely Jiva, neither does anything nor becomes tainted, O Arjuna. Just as one sun illuminates the entire world, similarly, eternal being, namely Brahma, illuminates or gives life to the entire creation, O Arjuna. They attain the Supreme, who perceive with the eye of the self-knowledge the difference between creation and the Creator, as well as know the technique by using one of the five paths: selfless service, knowledge, devotion, meditation, and surrender, of liberation of the life entity, namely Jiva, from the trap of divine illusionary energy or Maya. This ends the 13th chapter named Creation and the Creator of the Upanishad of the Bhagavad Gita, the scripture of yoga dealing with the science of the Absolute in the form of the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna.